Okay, this is a fairly standard transmitter, radio transmitter on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Most transmitters are like this. They've got an antenna up here, they've got gimbals down here, and the placement of the gimbals will vary depending on what type of mode you're flying. I'll explain mode soon. On switch, transmitter turns on. These transmitters offer programming on the screen via some sort of dial or knob. I press it on this particular brand, press the knob and scroll. I can go into different options. As an example, if I want to set up my servos, I can just reverse my servo direction if I want. I can just have other options in there that I can change. I won't go into what those options are. That's another story. Okay, and I'll just click on that and I'll bump out of it, just go up the menu system. So mostly you go down the menu system and back up the menu system to go to your main screen by scrolling. The gimbals, in mode 1 I have throttle on my right hand side, so idle, full throttle. Notice throttle's not on a spring. I have roll, roll right, roll left on the right hand side. On the left gimbal I've got pitch, pitch forward, pitch back, pitch forward, cows get bigger, pitch back, cows get smaller, yaw left, yaw right. Notice pitch and yaw are on a spring, roll, aileron is on a spring, they'll come back, but throttle isn't. Unlike DJI series of transmitters and systems, the throttle is on a spring. That's mode 1, which is generally Asia Pacific region. Mode 2, which is the US, throttle's on the left hand side. So this would be throttle, not on a spring, idle, full throttle. That's still yaw. That would be pitch, that would be roll. Depends what you're brought up with. There's not one system is not better than the other. Get our antenna up there. We'll talk more about antennas later, but gain or energy comes out of the antenna at 90 degrees to the antenna. Okay, so you try not to point your antenna at the aircraft, which is why they provide this little elbow here. Okay, so that's where your strongest gain is. Transmitters offer other options. I could allocate my flaps to here, 3-position flaps, so the flaps could come down. It's got a trainer switch here, up here, so that I can press that down and hand control through a lead out to the student transmitter. And this just switches that increase the rates on my control throws. So there, the aileron would perhaps move just a little bit. There, it moves a bit more, and there I get full throw of my ailerons if I was to hold hard roll. And these other bits and pieces, one could be allocated to turn smoke on, one could be flap as mentioned there. Another switch could be undercarriage perhaps. And it almost covers it. I have trim settings here. So the trim is in the same position as a stick. So this is aileron or roll in mode 1. The trim acts in the same direction. That works by, like the aircraft, no aircraft wants to fly straight and level. I might have to hold a tiny bit of left roll in for it to fly straight, and I don't want to have to do that all the time. Hold roll in, so instead I would trim that out till the aircraft flies straight. And I'll come back to level. The center position, you can hear the different sound. Same with pitch at a certain throttle position. Let's say I want to fly fast. The aircraft will want to climb, but I might want to fly straight and level. So instead of having to hold down pitch, I would trim that out in the same direction with trim. I'd trim forward. And you can see just here, that particular trim setting is moving. So I go all the way to the end of its limits and I can't go any further. Trim back to center. There's center position. Likewise, if I want to fly slow without losing altitude, and a lower throttle position, maybe take some aerial photos or something. Throttle back a bit, the aircraft want to descend, I would have to hold up elevator to fly straight and level. Let's trim that out, I would trim back. So I don't have to hold the gimbal back elevator in, I would trim that out. So the controls can be in the center. Okay, And that's pretty much it. Lots of different brands of transmitters. Spectrum's a popular brand, but there's a lot of other options. Main points: know your controls, throttle, roll, pitch, yaw in mode 1, trims, and just the other functions that the transmitter can do.